What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my full card breakdown and predictions for UFC Vegas 67. We have Nassourdine Imavov going against Kelvin Gastelum.
I need all the wins, yeah. Harder than all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
And we are back for the first prediction video of 2023. It's been like 30 days since I've done a prediction video, so glad to be back. Hopefully you guys had a great break. I know no UFC, it sucks. It sucks with just 1 week off, let alone 4. So glad to be back. It feels good, and just hoping to kind of carry the momentum we had in 2022 into 2023. I want to say I finished the year like the last 13 cards, I was like 11-1-1 in terms of winning or losing events. Just ended the year very, very strong. So hoping to carry the momentum into this year. And overall, just a really good year last year. So won a decent amount, learned a lot as well. Learning is always very important. And I did put down in an article that I wrote 2 years ago, and it's called You Don't Lose, You Learn. And I did put that in the description below for you guys to read, and it really helped me last year. It really did, because I tried to stay true to that article and some of the things I wrote in there. So check that out. Feel free to. But yeah, a couple other things I do want to mention. I do want to thank you guys for last year on the website, dfsbythenumbers.com. I started this in 2022 and had over 500 people sign up. So I want to thank you guys for that. And now being in January, it's a great time to sign up. You got the DFS, the betting, and the DFS and betting. DFS $10, betting $10, and the betting and DFS $20. Try to make the prices as low as possible for you guys. The most popular option being the betting. With that, you get my stats model, first notice on all bets, my betting article that comes out Friday. It talks about all the bets I have. I also do a Hail Mary parlay, a prelim parlay, a main card parlay, and I also put my leans for each fight. And then down at the bottom, it says full card breakdown and best bet article. Probably what adds the most value to this, to be honest. It's about a 15-16 page article where I break down the entire fight. I give my prediction, the round, the method, and I give my best bet for that fight. Also access to Discord, and just a lot of other things on there. And it also helps support me as well. So be sure to check out that for this year. And it's now a great time to sign up for the yearly membership. Had a couple of you guys do that last year. It's actually 10% off. So if you want to save money over the long run, it's 10% off. And on top of that, I will throw in a free shirt, free shipping. So with the betting, it's $108 a year. And with that, I will throw in that free shirt and free shipping for anybody that does sign up for the yearly membership. So thank you guys for that. Thank you for everybody that has signed up already. And thank you guys for who's all going to sign up in the future for this year and rock with me. Tons of content. I put a ton of work into the website behind the scenes and stuff like that. So other than that, just want to say check me out on Twitter, DFS_numbers. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. Lots of stuff going on there as well, especially Instagram, adding some new stuff to there. And then I have a live stream Friday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And then a live stream Saturday, 1 hour prior to the prelims, where I'm debuting a brand new show on Saturday. So be sure to check that out. So enough talking, but had to get that out of the way. It's been a long time since I've talked to y'all. So I say we get right into it. All right. We're going to start with the first fight of the card, and we have a banger. What not better way to start off the year with a Priscilla Cachoeira fight. Are you kidding me? I'm excited for this. We got Ciara Eubanks going against Priscilla Cachoeira. We got Eubanks, 37 years old, 5'4", with a 67-inch reach, 7-7 and 2-3 in her last 5 fights. Priscilla Cachoeira, 34 years old, 5'7", with a 65-inch reach, 12-4 and 4-1 in her last 5 fights. We will take a look at the odds here. And we do have odds. They just recently came out, but we have Ciara Eubanks opened up a -160 favorite, currently -205. Priscilla Cachoeira opened up +140, currently +175. See, I'm a big fan of Priscilla Cachoeira. I actually tweeted out saying, she's one of my favorite fighters, and I was like half joking, but at the same time, Priscilla Cachoeira is never in a boring fight. They call her the zombie girl for a reason. She's going to take a beating and just keep on walking forward. She's going to eat several shots to give, shots of her own, and she has a lot of power. But in this matchup, stylistically, I think it's a very tough matchup for her. One thing to take note of is, so on UFC stats, they have this fight listed as at flyweight. And on Tapology, they have this fight listed at bantamweight. So, and then I'm out there looking at, different articles, where the fights were announced, and like half and half say it's a flyweight fight, half say it's a bantamweight fight. If this is a bantamweight fight, I do favor CR Eubanks. If it's flyweight, I would actually favor Cachoeira, just because Eubanks really does struggle to cut down to 125, especially at this age of 37 years old. But right now, we'll say it's at bantamweight. Because that's kind of where I think it will be at. It makes more sense for it to be at bantamweight. Cachoeira just fought at bantamweight. Eubanks can't really make the 125, so I think it's at bantamweight. And if it is, it should be Eubanks here, and Eubanks all day, just because she has a clear path to victory. Priscilla Cachoeira, she struggles with the ground game. Her takedown defense is not good. Her get-up game is just completely non-existent. Eubanks, being a black belt in BJJ, being a very physically strong fighter, being able to get the fight down to the mat, I think she's going to be able to take down Cachoeira, and one takedown is all it's going to take for either the round or potentially a finish. Cachoeira has been submitted twice. Eubanks does not have any submissions on her record, but like I said, she is a black belt in BJJ. She's a solid grappler. She has really good ground and pound. Of course, what you got to worry about with Eubanks is the cardio, especially at 37 years old. She does tend to slow down as the fight goes on. So if Cachoeira was to win, it's probably going to look like one of those comeback wins she had against, Gina Mazzani. But I don't think Eubanks is going to gas as bad as Gina Mazzani did in that fight. So I got to go Eubanks here, although I'm a big fan of Priscilla Cachoeira. And I'm going to take Eubanks to, I don't know, I feel like it could be either like a decision where she gets the fight down to the mat, wins minutes there, or I feel like she could potentially finish this fight in the first round by submission, just due to the fact that Cachoeira has a huge hole in her game on the mat. So I do like Eubanks, though, but not a fight I will probably be betting on. All right, moving on, we have Jimmy Flick going against Charles Johnson. Very good fight here. Absolutely a very fun fight. The return of Jimmy Flick after a very short retirement for Jimmy Flick there. But yeah, Charles Johnson, he's 32 years old, 5'9", with a 70-inch reach, 12-3, and 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Jimmy Flick, 32 years old, 5'7", with a 70.5-inch reach, 16-5, and 4-1 in his last 5 fights. So, and the odds on this card they're ridiculous, a lot of them. And I don't know if it's because, we haven't had fights for a while. People are eager to get down some action on some of these favorites or what, but these lines, a lot of them are very, very, very wide and quite frankly, unbettable. Charles Johnson opened up minus 134. He went all the way down to minus 550. I'm like, what's going on? Is Flick coming in here with, I don't know, injured or something? I don't know. And then he went back down to minus 305, which is more reasonable, but still, even that is very wide. Jimmy Flick opened up plus 114, went to plus 420, and then went back down to plus 245. And I think Johnson should be the favorite here, but my goodness, minus 550 was kind of nuts here. But yeah, Jimmy Flick, this guy's a wizard on the mat. This guy is very, very dangerous when the fight hits the ground. Jimmy Flick has finished the majority of his wins by submission. Flick has an 88% finish rate, all of those by submission, no knockouts. If he's going to win this fight, it's going to be by submission, and it's probably going to be by first round submission as well. The problem with Jimmy Flick is when he doesn't get the fight down to the mat, when he doesn't get his way, he kind of falls off a cliff a little bit, especially after the first round, and that's kind of what I fear here. I think Charles Johnson showed very good takedown defense against Muhammad Mokaev in the first round when he was fresh, and he really he gave Muhammad Mokaev some problems in terms of being able to, he was able to stay upright for pretty much the entire first round. If he got taken up, he popped right back up, and I don't think Jimmy Flick has the caliber of wrestling that Mokaev does. So I think Flick's really going to struggle here to get the fight down to the mat, and when he does, it should be Johnson all day on the feet. Johnson mixes it up very well, lots of tools on the feet, solid volume, sneaky power as well. I think he finishes Jimmy Flick. I think it could be even early, but I will say second round. I think Flick, if he gets the fight down to the mat, he's going to have opportunities. I mean, like I said, the guy is phenomenal on the mat. It's just I don't know if he can get it there, and if he doesn't, he's going to be in big trouble. So I think Charles Johnson gives Jimmy Flick his 5th knockout loss here, and I think Charles Johnson gets it done in the second round. All right, moving on, we have Daniel Argueta going against Isaac Dulgarian. And we will start with Daniel Argueta. who is 29 years old, 5'7", with a 70-inch reach, 8-1 and 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Isaac Dulgarian, he is 26 years old, 5'7", 5-0, obviously 5-0 in his only 5 fights here. We'll take a look at the odds here. A more kind of interesting line movement where Daniel Argueta opened up -260, is currently -180. And then Isaac Dulgarian opened up +220, currently +155. So some money has been coming in on Isaac Dulgarian, and I gotta agree with it. So this is a fight where I go and watch tape on Dulgarian, and I love what I see. I absolutely love what I see from Dulgarian. I cannot say one bad thing about what I saw on the tape. I mean, the guy's wrestling is very good, a legit wrestling background, very good submission game, and then the ground and pound is absolutely vicious. I saw him put some guy out cold with his ground and pound. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this guy. And then you look at the level of competition, and it's not good. It's really, really not good at all. I mean, this is going to be a big step up in competition for Isaac Dulgarian. So it's one of those fights where, yeah, he's looking great, but he's looking great against who? Kind of going through his record here. He's fighting 0-0 guys, 2-2, 2-3, 1-1. The best win being 7-2. And he's beating all these guys, and he's beating them under a half of a round. But again, this is going to be the toughest test of his career. But like I said, I like what I see from the guy. And then you got Argueta, and man, I think Dulgarian is going to be the better wrestler in this fight. And the thing is, I think this fight is going to primarily play out on the mat. There were some concerning things I saw. It was Argueta in the fight against Diego Silva, where Silva was taking him down easily. And once Silva got on top, Argueta just could not get up. And if Dulgarian gets on top of Argueta, there could be some serious problems. And we saw Damon Jackson do it as well. And another thing is, this fight's at featherweight, and Argueta's a bantamweight. I don't know what he's doing. I think he should really cut back down to bantamweight, where he's fought most of his career. Yes, he fought Damon Jackson at featherweight, but how'd that work out for him? And I know it's Damon Jackson, but still. Jackson was able to take him down, control him for 85% of the fight, 90% of the fight. So yeah, I think Dulgarian's going to have his opportunities. The thing with Dulgarian, though, he's battled no adversity. He's not seen the second round. So what's he going to look like if this fight were to get extended? And those are valid concerns here. But I'm going to take the dog. I'm going to take the dog in Dulgarian. I'm going to say he goes out there and gets a first-round finish over Daniel Argueta. I love what I see from Dulgarian. He's not fought anybody, but we'll see if this guy's legit or not. So give me Dulgarian for the upset. All right, moving on, we have Alan Nascimento going against Carlos Hernandez. And we will start with Nascimento, who is 31 years old, 5'8", with a 69.5-inch reach, 19-6 and 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Carlos Hernandez, 29 years old, 5'8", with a 67-inch reach, 8-1 and 5-0 in his last 5 fights. So we'll take a look at the odds here, and just another line that just kind of shocks me, to be honest. Nascimento opened up -190, went to -425. Currently, he is -330. Carlos Hernandez opened up +165, went to +325, and he's currently at +255. So, the reason I think the odds are where they are is just due to the fact that Nascimento went out there and beat Jake Hadley, which I think that win is going to age incredibly, and I think it has already aged very well. So, beating Jake Hadley, and not only beating Jake Hadley, but beating him pretty convincingly. I mean, it was a unanimous decision. It really wasn't even close. And even against Tagir Ulanbekov, Tagir's a guy that a lot of people are high on. He made that fight close. It was a split decision loss, and he was able to win on one of the judges' scorecards just by throwing up submissions. Nascimento's ground game is very, very good. He's going to be the better grappler in this matchup. Nascimento, I think, his striking is solid. He just looks kind of uncomfortable on the feet at times, looks kind of hesitant on the feet at times, but when he gets the fight down to the mat, it's absolutely his world, and that's why I got to go with Nascimento here. Hernandez has been taken down multiple times. I don't think he has the best takedown defense. He was taken down 5 times on the Contender Series. He was taken down by Altamirano as well. But the thing with Hernandez is he's really good at popping back up. He's really hard to hold down. But I think that the caliber of grappler in Nascimento should be able to take him down, get some control, and potentially even get a submission if this fight hits the mat. Nascimento's ground game is absolutely legit. So I got to go Nascimento here. The line's clearly wide. You don't want to bet Nascimento at minus 400 against really anybody, but I feel like stylistically he should be able to get this fight down to the mat. And I'll say decision for Nascimento. I'll say he kind of grinds one out, mixing in takedowns, winning minutes on top, and winning a decision here. All right, we will keep moving on. We have Mateus Mendoza going against Javid Basharat. Very good fight here. It's kind of a shame. We have two guys that are, I think both guys have incredible ceilings. Javid, he has just completely impressed. I mean, the Tony Gravely win for Javid impressed me so much. And then Mendoza is a guy that's only 23 years old. I think his ceiling's very high. So I don't really like the matchmaking. I would have liked to, for one, give Javid a step up. He just beat Tony Gravely. Like, I don't know. This fight doesn't make much sense to me. And then on the flip side, Mendoza, you would have thought that they'd want to build this guy up a little bit and give him a winnable matchup, but he gave him Javid. But yeah, Javid, he's 27 years old, 5'9" with a 69-inch reach, 13-0. and 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Mendoza, he is 23 years old, 5'6", with a 71.5-inch reach, 10-0, and obviously 5-0 in his last 5 fights. And we'll take a look at the odds here. We have Javid as the favorite, opening up minus 260, currently minus 360. Mendoza opening up plus 220. He is currently plus 285. So yeah, Mendoza's good. Mendoza has solid wrestling. His jiu-jitsu is incredible. On the feet, he does leave a lot of openings to be hit. I think his striking defense does need some work, but he has a lot of power. I like what I see from Mendoza. He went out there on the Contender Series and got a finish win under 60 seconds, showing that power in that fight. But like I said, I like Mendoza a lot. The one big problem is he's fighting Javid Basharat, who I'm not stepping in front of anytime soon. I mean, Javid, like Mateus, is very well-rounded. He has very good striking, very technical striking, solid power, phenomenal wrestling. Like, that Gravely fight, it shocked me. Tony Gravely being one of the best wrestlers in the bantamweight division, and Javid going out there and out-wrestling the guy. Like, that completely shocked me. And I gotta hand it to Javid for that. And then on top of that, the grappling for Javid is very good as well. I mean, just a very well-rounded fighter, has a good chin, good cardio, just a lot of things to like about Javid. So, although I like Mateus, it's way too soon here. It is way too soon here for Mateus. He's gonna lose this fight, and then I hope they give him somebody not named Javid Basharat. I mean, just this matchmaking is kind of weird to me. But give me Javid Basharat to win. I'll take Javid Basharat to win by decision. I do think Mendoza is going to have his moments early on, but Javid should pull this out. So Javid Basharat by decision for me. All right, moving on, we have Mateusz Rebecki going against Nick Fiore. We will start with Rebecki, who is 30 years old, 5'7", with a 66-inch reach, 16-1, and 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Nick Fiore, 25 years old, 5'11", 6-0, and obviously 5-0 in his last 5 fights. We'll take a look at the odds, and Rebecki is the biggest favorite on the card. No, never mind. He's the second biggest favorite on the card. We'll talk about the first biggest favorite in a second. But Rebecki opened at minus 450, currently minus 725. Fiore opened up plus 350, currently plus 525. And there's a lot of reasons to like Rebecki. There's not a lot of reasons to like him at minus 725, but he should win this fight going against Nick Fiore, who I believe stepping in on somewhat short notice here. Fiore's a guy that, the thing is, just not much tape on the guy, to be honest. I was able to watch a couple amateur fights, honestly kind of lackluster, and then I was able to watch his only pro fight that I was able to find available, and it was against my man Jay Ellis, who, if you guys don't know Jay Ellis, he's like 16 and 120, with most of those being finished losses. It just didn't show me anything, and he's a guy that he's training at New England Cartel. He's a good grappler, good wrestler, but he's going against Mateusz Rebecki here, who's, I think, a prospect to absolutely look out for. Went on there on the Contender Series, made quick work of his opponent, was able to get him out of there by submission, and I like his style. Like, he's a really good wrestler, really good grappler, and on the feet, I don't think he's the best striker in the world, but what he does is he throws bombs. He throws very, very hard. So you got to think Rebecki gets this done. Pretty easy matchup for him. Just didn't really see much in the limited tape of Fiore that has me to believe that he has much of a chance here, and the odds are kind of indicating that. So I got to go with Rebecki. I'll take him to win by first round finish. Honestly, I think it could be a potential knockout. He throws heat on the feet. I'll say knockout win for Rebecki. But if he wants to take down Fiore, eventually submit him, I think that's on the table as well. But Rebecki should win this fight and probably inside the distance as well. All right, next we have an absolute banger. Love the matchmaking on this one. I know exactly what they're doing with this one right here. But we have Abdul, Razak, Al-Hassan going against Claudio, Ribeiro, another Contender Series guy. We have a couple of them on this card. But we have Al-Hassan, who is 37 years old, 5'10" with a 73-inch reach, 11-5 and 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Claudio Ribeiro, he is 30 years old, 6'1", with a 77-inch reach, 10-2 and 5-0 in his last 5 fights. We have a pretty closely lined fight here, actually dead even. Al-Hassan opening up -115, currently -110 pick'em. Claudio Ribeiro opening up -105, currently a -110 pick'em. And honestly, for me, it makes sense to pick him a price tag here because I think these guys are going to stand and bang until one man falls. We have Al-Hassan, who has 11 wins, all 11 of them coming by knockout, and all 11 of them coming in the very first round. He's never won a decision. He's never won a fight that reached the second round. And I don't think that's going to change here at 37 years old, right? And then Claudio Ribeiro is a guy with 10 wins, all of them coming by finish, and I think like 8 or 9 of them in the first round. So like a combined 20 of their wins have came in the first round. And I think that continues here because, Ribeiro, you look at him, like what's his weakness? It's the ground game. Guys can take him down easily, doesn't have much off his back. I just can't see Al-Hassan going out there and taking him down just because Al-Hassan's never done that. That's not his game. When he's winning fights, he's knocking guys out. When he's winning fights, he's not going out there and taking guys down. It's never happened before. 11 wins, all of them by first round knockouts. So I think Al-Hassan can absolutely knock out Ribeiro, who is defensively irresponsible, but I just don't see Al-Hassan going out there and taking this guy down. On the flip side, Ribeiro's not going for takedowns, which Al-Hassan's got to like that because Al-Hassan has struggled with the takedown as of late. We saw Joaquin Buckley taking this guy down. Jacob Malkoun took him down multiple times. He's not going to have to worry about that here. Ribeiro's not taking down anybody. So yeah, I think these guys are going to stand and bang, and it all comes down to who's going to land the shot first, and that's why I think a pick'em's about right because both of these guys have incredible power. I give the power advantage to Al-Hassan ever so slightly, but Ribeiro has a ton of power in his own right. I think Al-Hassan's more defensively responsible on the feet. Ribeiro is open to be hit, and that's why I kind of lean Al-Hassan, going out there and getting the knockout. But the age concerns me with Al-Hassan. The current form of Al-Hassan really concerns me as well, being 1-4 in his last 5 fights. But a couple of those fights were due to him getting taken down, and that's not going to be the case here. So I'm going to take Abdul Razak Al-Hassan to win. I'm going to take him to win by first round knockout, but I think somebody's getting served here, probably under 5 minutes. All right, next we have the probably one of the best fights on the card. Umar Nurmagomedov going against Barcelos. We have Umar Nurmagomedov, who is 26 years old, 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. He is 15-0 and 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Barcelos is 35 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach, 17-3 and 3-2 in his last 5 fights. We'll take a look at the odds here. This is the biggest favorite on the card. Umar Nurmagomedov opened up -200, currently -745. Barcelos opened up +170. He is currently +545. Barcelos is getting priced as if he were a bum, and I can tell you for a fact, Barcelos is not a bum at all. Barcelos is like he has legit wrestling, a legit wrestling background. He's like a 3rd-degree black belt in BJJ. Incredible durability, incredible volume on the feet. The problem is he's fighting Umar Nurmagomedov, and people are very high in Nurmagomedov, including me. And a lot of people think that he's going to be a potential champion in the very near future, including me. I think so as well. But this line is it's disrespectful to Barcelos, but it's hard to pick against Nurmagomedov. A couple things I don't like about the Barcelos side at this point is he is 35 years old, almost 36, and at bantamweight, that's not something you'd like to see. And we have seen signs of decline with Barcelos, like losing to to Victor Henry it's not good. That's a terrible look. And a lot of people thought after that fight he was done, he was washed, and I was kind of under the impression that it was just a one-off. It was a bad fight, bad performance, and he went back and in his last fight beat Trevin Jones. But I think in this fight, just looking at it stylistically, I feel like it could play out a lot closer than the line does indicate, but I feel like Nurmagomedov should be able to get this fight done. Although Barcelos does have 93% takedown defense, I feel like Nurmagomedov is going to be able to get this fight down to the mat. And, kind of just digging deeper into that 93% takedown defense, we got to kind of take a look at, who he's fighting, right? Chris Gutierrez is not taking him down. Kurt Hollaball took him down once. Kurt Hollaball was 1 for 3. Carlos Joaquin, Said Nurmagomedov didn't take him down. Nurmagomedov was like 0 for 2. Khalid Taha, striker. Valiev, no takedowns. Victor Henry, Trevin Jones. I mean, Nurmagomedov is going to be the toughest wrestler Barcelos has fought, and it looks like by a mile, to be honest. So, yeah, I do think Nurmagomedov does get this fight down to the mat, and when he does, he should be able to control Barcelos, potentially take his back. I don't know if he's going to finish Barcelos. Barcelos, like I said, legit grappler, but I do think Nurmagomedov can kind of grind out a decision. And even on the feet, I don't think Nurmagomedov is at a huge disadvantage by any means. I think it's actually pretty competitive on the feet. I love the volume, the hands of Barcelos, but Nurmagomedov has very flashy kicks, incredible kicks. Maybe he does hurt Barcelos at some point, but yeah, I'm going to say Nurmagomedov gets this done. I'll say by decision here, but should be a very fun fight. I think it's going to be a kind of a competitive fight, at least early on, but I do expect Nurmagomedov to kind of take over later the fight goes, especially if there's a lot of wrestling, grappling. I don't trust the gas tank and the age at this point of Raoni Barcelos to give him much of a chance here. So give me a Nurmagomedov to win. I'll take him to win by decision. All right, next we have my least favorite fight on the card by a mile. By a mile. We have Ketlen Vieira going against Raquel Pennington. We have Vieira, 31 years old, 5'8", with a 68-inch reach, 13-2, and 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Raquel Pennington, 34 years old, 5'7", with a 67.5-inch reach, 14-8, and 4-1 in her last 5 fights. And it's about a pick'em. Vieira opened up -145, currently -116. Pennington opened up +125, currently -104. First look, I thought, man, I'm gonna be betting Ketlen Vieira here. But after looking into it and after thinking over how silly that sounds, there is no way I'm betting this fight. I stopped betting on these fights like these a while ago, where they're low level, they can kind of go either way, and this is actually not a low level fight at all. Vieira is very close to a title shot, although I thought she lost to Holly Holm, and Pennington's only lost to the best of the best. But this is just a fight where I feel like it could really go either way. And I feel like I like things about both fighters. We have Vieira, who is going to have the grappling advantage. If she gets on top, she's going to be able to control Pennington. And then we have Pennington, who's going to be able to have the advantage in the clinch. She's going to be able to push Vieira against the cage. And to be honest, I'm not really a fan of either, especially Vieira. Like, she doesn't throw anything. Like, there was that fight with Yana Kunzakaya where she controlled Yana for literally like 13 minutes and still lost the fight just because she did nothing. She did nothing in the Eubanks fight. I mean, she did nothing in the Holm fight and won. I mean, it's just not. I don't think this is going to be the best fight in the world. But as far as a pick, I don't know. Vieira, I feel like she gets this fight down to the mat. She can control Pennington. But I could also see a scenario on the flip side where Pennington just does more. So I'm going to stick with Vieira, though. I don't love it. I will not be betting on this fight, but I will pick Vieira to win. And I'll take her to win by a decision, which is probably going to be greasy, and the judges are probably going to get it wrong, but I'll take Vieira for the decision win. All right, next we have Punahele Soriano going against Roman Kopylov. We got Soriano, 30 years old, 5'11", with a 72.5-inch reach, 9-2, and 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Roman Kopylov, 31 years old, 6 foot, with a 75-inch reach, 9-2, and 3-2 in his last 5 fights. So we have Soriano as the favorite, opening up -180, and he's now -150. Roman Kopylov opening up +155. He's currently +130. So, Yeah, I think it's a great fight here. Soriano has a legit wrestling background. I would kind of like him to use it in this matchup against Kopylov, who was taken down by Duraev, was taken down and submitted by Carl Roberson. The thing is with Soriano, he has that really good wrestling background. He just never uses it. He's used it once in the UFC/Contender Series against Jamie Pickett, and again, that's against Jamie Pickett, so it can't really take too much into that, but would like to see him wrestle here, because if he does not wrestle in this matchup, and I have a feeling he doesn't, it's going to be a close fight just because Puna has the power advantage against most people. Although Kopylov does hit really hard himself, like Puna hits very, very hard though. But I think the technical advantage goes to Kopylov. I think Kopylov has a lot more tools on the feet as well. He looked really good in the Di Chirico fight. He was able to mix it up to the body very well, had a lot of body kicks, and then ended up finishing him in the third round there. And I have concerns about both guys and their cardio, but Puna especially, like when Puna gets out of that first round against most fighters, he kind of falls off a cliff. I know he finished Dolce Langabula in the second, but first of all, Dolce got hurt in that fight, his rib or something, and then secondly, it's Dolce Langabula. But other than that, like Puna's either finishing these guys in the first round or he's just not looking great in that second and third, whereas Kopylov, he's shown that he can strike into those second and third rounds. He's shown the better cardio out of these two. So in a matchup where I feel like Puna should wrestle, but he's probably not, in a fight where I feel like it's going to be on the feet, I feel like it's a close fight. Could Puna knock out Kopylov? Absolutely. He can knock out most guys, but I kind of trust Kopylov as the fight goes on here. So I'm going to take another upset here with Roman Kopylov, and I'm going to take him to win by decision. All right, 2 fights left. We have an absolute banger here, probably one of my favorite fights on the card. Co-main event, Damon Jackson, Dan Ige. We have Damon Jackson, 34 years old, 5'11", with a 71-inch reach, 22-4-1, and 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Dan Ige, 31 years old, 5'7", with a 71-inch reach, 15-6, and 1-4 in his last 5 fights. We'll take a look at the odds here. We have Damon Jackson opening up the -160 favorite, currently -104. Dan Ige opening up +140. Currently -116, and I'm kind of kicking myself. This is one of the very first matchups I researched and got into it, and I saw a plus money on Dan Ige. I'm like, what's going on? And then I get done with tape and all that, and then the line's gone. It went from like +118 to -115 like that. So just missed dog money on Ige. And I'll be honest, I love Ige in this matchup here. I think this is recency biased all over. I mean, this is a massive step down in competition for Dan Ige. Just a massive step down in competition for him. He lost to Movsar Evloev. Got taken down 9 times by Movsar Evloev. A top 10 guy. I think we can forgive him for that. He lost, honestly, it was a competitive decision against Josh Emmett. Like, very competitive. He got knocked down in that fight, but he looked good in the matchup for the most part. Lost a decision to Josh Emmett, another top 10 guy. A guy that, I think top 5 even, Josh Emmett. Lost to the Korean Zombie, top 10 guy. And then he lost to Calvin Kattar, top 10 guy. I'll tell you right now, Calvin Kattar, the Korean Zombie, and Josh Emmett, and Movsar Evloev, they would all finish Damon Jackson and probably in the first round. It's a big step down in competition for Dan Ige. So yes, the record looks iffy, 1-4, but my goodness, he's losing to top 10 guys. And then you got Damon Jackson, who's looked phenomenal. I'm a big fan of Damon Jackson. I love the guy. He lost to Ilia Topuria, no shame in that. But he beat, Charles Rosa, who everybody can beat at this point. Kamala Kirk, who's cut. Daniel Argueta at featherweight on short notice, And then this is his best win, though. Pat Sabatini, incredible win. And to go out there and do that in, I think, less than a minute. That was incredible. Great win for Damon Jackson there. But this is a step up. It's a big step up in competition for Damon Jackson. And kind of how I see this fight playing out stylistically, like on the feet, Jackson does have improved striking for sure, but it's Dan Ige all day on the feet. I love the combinations of Dan Ige. He mixes it up very well to the body, and we saw Topuria kind of mix it up to the body against Jackson, and it gave him a lot of problems. I don't like the striking defense of Damon Jackson. He leaves a lot of openings to the body and the head. He only has a 50% striking defense on paper, so on the feet, I like Ige a lot. And then on the mat, that's kind of where Damon Jackson has a path to victory here, and that's going to be taking down Ige, who on paper has a 51% takedown defense, but again, he got taken down 9 times by Evloev. He got taken down 3 times by the Korean Zombie, and he got taken down 3 times by Mirsad Bektic. Very good wrestler. Outside of that, nobody's really taken this guy down, and on top of that, Dan Ige is a black belt in BJJ for what it's worth, but Dan Ige is probably going to keep this fight on the feet. Damon Jackson is probably going to want to get this fight down on the mat, and I just feel like Dan Ige is going to, do the better work here in the fight as a whole. But I also feel like Dan Ige is very live to actually finish this fight. Like Dan Ige has a ton of power, and he hasn't had a finish in a couple fights, but you're not finishing Movsar Evloev. You're not finishing Josh Emmett. You're not finishing the Korean Zombie. He finished Gavin Tucker. You're not finishing Calvin Kattar, but he has finishes over guys like Danny Henry, guys like Luis Gomez on the Contender Series. He also finished Mike Santiago as well. So he has finishing ability, and I think he does finish Damon Jackson. The reason being is Jackson has been finished in all 4 of his losses. Jackson's never lost a decision. Damon Jackson has been knocked out 3 times and submitted once, and I think he gets a 4th knockout loss here from Dan Ige. So I like Ige here. I like him to knock out Damon Jackson. Probably a nice body shot there. And I think Dan Ige's, this is a must win. I mean, this is a must win for Dan Ige. They're doing him a favor here. I mean, they're giving him a matchup where he should win this matchup. And if he doesn't, he's probably cut. If he doesn't, he's going to be on a 4-fight skid. 1 in 5 in his last 6 fights. Not a good look. So give me Dan Ige to win. I'll take him to win by second round knockout here. All right, next we have the main event. If you guys have not already, smash the like button. Likes do go a long way, and I do appreciate them. But we have Kelvin Gastelum going against Nassourdine Imavov. We have Imavov, who is 26 years old, 6'3", with a 75-inch reach, 12-3, and 4-1 in his last 5 fights. We have Kelvin Gastelum, who is 31 years old, 5'9", with a 71.5-inch reach, 17-8, and 1-4 in his last 5 fights. We'll take a look at the odds here. We see that Imavov opened up -180, currently -220. Kelvin Gastelum opened up +155, currently +185. So yeah, I mean, right off the bat, what sticks out is the tail of the tape. Imavov's going to have a 6-inch height advantage and a pretty solid reach advantage as well. But I have some serious concerns about Imavov here, and I'm a big fan of Imavov. I think this guy's legit, but the 5 rounds, I don't know, it kind of scares me a bit because that Buckley fight just was not a great look. He won the first 2 rounds, but the 3rd round came around and he had nothing left in that 3rd round. He was looking up at the clock multiple times, and this is a 5-round fight. We've never seen him in that 4th and 5th round, whereas Kelvin Gastelum, I know a lot of people are down on him, and rightfully so. He's 1-4 in his last 5 fights, but kind of like the Dan Ige, right? Like, look at who he's losing to. Darren Till, which, he could have easily won that fight. Very close fight there. Jack Hermanson, Robert Whitaker, Jared Cannonier, guys like Israel Adesanya. So he's fighting the kind of the who's who in the middleweight division. He's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. But when he did take that one step down against Ian Heinisch, he made it look pretty easy there. But this is a fight where, technically I think Imavov's the much better striker here. Imavov's striking is incredible, and I think early on he's going to have a lot of success picking apart Kelvin Gastelum. What I'm curious about, though, is Gastelum probably should go back to his wrestling roots. He did it in that Heinisch fight, taking down Heinisch multiple times. I would like him to do that here for a ton of reasons. So the first reason, if he takes down Imavov, he doesn't have to strike with them, which would be very smart. The second reason is if you take down Imavov, make him work, he's going to tire out faster. I don't have any confidence in the cardio of Nassourdine Imavov across 5 rounds. If this was a 3-round fight, this pick is pretty easy for me. I'd probably take Imavov, but since this is a 5-round fight, since Gastelum has been the full 5 rounds against guys like Israel Adesanya, it's kind of a show me spot for Imavov. Like, show me that you can go into that 4th and 5th round, because I don't think he's finishing Kelvin Gastelum just due to the fact that, nobody's knocking out Kelvin Gastelum. This guy has a brick for a head. He's taking huge shots and not falling down. So I don't think Imavov finishes him early, and if not, it's going to get very interesting the later the fight goes. So I'm going to take Gastelum here for the upset. I don't feel great about it. Like I said, I'm very high on Imavov, but the 5 rounds scares the crap out of me. And I also think that Gastelum does have a path to victory with the wrestling. So give me Gastelum Probably honestly not betting on this fight. Probably going to sit back and watch this one, but Gastelum is kind of intriguing as a dog here for me. I know everybody's on Imavov this week, and I get it, he's looked incredible, but the 5 rounds scares me a lot. So I'll take Gastelum, and I'll take Gastelum to win by decision, I'll say. So yeah, we did it. Thank you all so much for watching. Welcome back. If you guys could all please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, check out dfsbythenumbers.com, check out that betting tier, check out the yearly package. Like I said, if you sign up for the year, DM me your address, or I'll get your address. You get a free shirt. This is like a 3X. So we have 3X, 2X, extra large, I think maybe mediums, but yeah. And then I think I have like 50 of them left. So check it out. Get a free shirt. Sign up. And should be a good year. End of the year incredibly last year, and is hoping to kind of bring the same strategies in this year and hopefully keep winning some money. So yeah, guys, leave a like, subscribe, check out Twitter DFS_numbers, Instagram DFS by the numbers. Hit me up on there if you have any questions, and best of luck for UFC Vegas 67. See you guys later.